Hello, humans and non-humans. My name is Apikaira Vampiri, and today I'm going to give you another update to the whole NIFB situation. So I think I will start first with what I find to be most urgent is concerning any protests that are going to be happening and essentially what not to do. So, as I've mentioned before, Florida has stand your ground laws that will definitely favor them. And the NIFB actually, at least this particular church that's a part of it, okay, so the NIFB stands for New Independent Fundamentalist Baptist, I think. I know it's like New Blank Fundamentalist Baptist. I'm not exactly sure what the I stands for, but I think it's for independent. So basically they're made up of I think 30 churches now, which is crazy. So they've grown. People might argue oh, just ignore them. Just ignore them. They'll fade. No. They've actually gotten bigger. We tried that and they just got bigger. So now it's at a point where it's crap, we need to do something. So, what keeps happening is, we meaning the community that's a part of Mr. Atheists and, a whole bunch of other creators, we've been flagging their videos as hate speech, but then they just keep reposting them under another channel. We've taken a break from that, though, because Mr. Atheist is working on gathering evidence. Because they are basically a hate group, and we're trying to get them to be recognized as that. So the more evidence we have, the better. And there are ways that, I'm going to get into this, but there are ways that they get around the limitations of free speech. But that will come in a little bit. So what I want to play for you now is a clip of Pastor Tommy McMurtry, who may or may not be sexually attracted to pumpkins, wink wink, of him basically saying pray for violence, because if things get violent, we got Florida has stand your ground laws, and we can basically legally kill them. So I'll play that for you.
Just pray everything goes well there. Pray that if they do any protests, that it gets violent. They have stand your ground in Florida. So if we're allowed to fight back there. So I say bring it. But anyway, and with the crowd that would be protesting us, it'd be a pretty easy win. So anyway, but be praying for that. I'm really excited about it.
So that's where the clip ends. So basically they're saying, pray for violence, pray that things get violent, because if they do, Florida has stand your ground laws that basically will favor them. Basically laws that say if you feel threatened, then you can basically shoot someone to protect yourself. And you can see why laws like that would get abused, as is basically what's going on here. They would absolutely abuse those laws. In fact, that's what they're advocating for here. So if you decide to go protest, whatever you do, do not get violent, because that will give them an excuse to try to kill you. And because of the laws in Florida, anything that happens, the situation will favor them because of the laws. So please be safe. Don't engage. Just be safe. So another what not to do is send them any hate, death threats, and other threats of any kind. What I'm going to play for you is a clip from BBC Three. So since the press release has gone out, many news sources have been picking this up as, the conference has been nearing. So I'm going to play for you a clip.
Yeah, I would have fraternized with him. Yeah, you missed it.
It says, however, preaching hate can bring hate in
You sick,
return.
homophobic son of a bitch. Talking about God striking down, he should strike down on your church and burn it to a crisp.
I can't even count how many people have threatened to come and kick my whatever and beat me up and rape me and violently rape my children. I mean, we got an email recently where they went into great detail how they're going to violently rape each child. They'd name the child and then say exactly what they're going to do to that child.
And kill you and kill all the people that believe in killing the LGBT.
Well, enjoy AIDS, I guess.
Whatever you do not do this. I've already mentioned before that they think members of the LGBT community and their allies are rapists and pedophiles and murderers. This proves their fucking point, like, in a way. To them, their point is proven. And it just makes you look bad. Now, people can see that, and they might already agree about that, you know, about the whole gay people being criminals thing. They look at that, and they'll go, oh, they're right. Let me just go on to their side. And it makes things worse. Do you not get that? I know it's so tempting to respond with emotion like this, but you need to think with your head, okay? This is exactly what not to do. If it doesn't just make you look bad, it makes you look just as bad as the NIFB. Okay? Do not fight hate with hate. It makes you look bad, it makes them look better. You are not arguing your case, you just look dumb. Okay? This isn't how to fight back against them. And it just gains them sympathy. There have been other news sources that has done segments on the NIFB and this church in particular that paints them in a sympathetic light. Mr. Atheist did a video on that, explaining how basically in this news organization, like, you know, this was, you know, they ignored all of the hateful homophobic shit that they've said. They painted them in a sympathetic light, like, oh, they're just trying to practice their religion, and people are, you know, they're sending them hate and stuff like that. It's bullshit like this that lets them do that. It makes them look sympathetic. People are gonna go to their side. Just, oh my gosh. And even on a level that doesn't have to do with this whole fight, just don't do it anyway. That's horrible. Sending death threats and rape threats it's horrible. Would you want anyone doing that to you? No, you fucking wouldn't. So don't do it. Why are you humans so stupid? I'm sorry. Just, oh my God, people are so stupid sometimes. It just, get it together, Abhikara. Okay, so what I'm gonna show you now is basically a tactic that they use to get around the restrictions of hate speech. So as many of you probably know, here in the US where I am, our First Amendment protects, gives you the right to free speech, and also gives you the right to practice religion. So freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and I believe freedom of press as well. But of course, there are limitations like that. Like, you can't go in a crowded theater and yell fire, because that puts other people in harm, you know? So you can't, and also hate speech and calls for violence, right? You can't actively, calls for terrorism and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure under the First Amendment aren't allowed, but they get around this. So I'm going to show you one of the tactics that they use. And this is a clip that Cirrus used in a recent live stream with other creators. So you're probably gonna see them hear them rather pausing the video and reacting to that. I'll do my best to try to get the whole clip, but basically this is really important. Okay.
Atheist Tea Girl just made a great statement. If you're cramming it down the throats, it isn't sodomy.
Actually, I think it is.
Actually, it is. It is. Sodomy is not strictly that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason we know that is because there's actually legislation in certain states in the United States that defines sodomy.
Say they do.
Or according to him, or harder left-leaning platforms on YouTube are just that by association. That's kind of the concept behind a conquest of bread, where that came from. Literature for people to read. Anywho, next we have a $2.79 super chat from Sadie79. Love you all.
I'm sorry. I thought I had this all set up and ready to go. It's pretty hard to, because they keep pausing the video and talking, and then like unpausing it for like a split second before they start talking again. I wanted to show you this because I really like having sources to pull from, so that it's not just like hey, like, don't just take my word for it, like, look at this is basically proof of what I'm saying. But I tried recording this before, it didn't work out, so you know what, I'm just gonna go out and say what the NIFB, what this church has been saying. So basically they say, it's not our responsibility, right? It's not Christians' responsibility, but it should be on the government and the police to kill gay people, to basically arrest them, put them on trial, and kill them. Now, well, watching this live stream and hearing this, I'm like, why do they... It's like, oh, it's not our responsibility, like, the government should do it. I'm like, but, like, why do you keep saying that? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, like, own up to it. But then they mentioned, and it, like, dawned on me, this is how they get around the whole free speech thing. By saying, oh, it's not our responsibility, it's the government's responsibility, the police's responsibility. And keep in mind, this guy is, I'm pretty sure he's like a sergeant or something. I think he's on paid leave for this bullshit, but yeah. Anyway, that's how they get around it, because under free speech, if I'm correct here, and I'm just basically reiterating what has been said, but that's basically like, oh, we think the legal policy should change. We're not telling people to go kill LGBT people. No, we're not doing that at all. We're just saying that the government should make laws about this and blah blah blah. That's how they're getting around it. So yeah, that's basically what's been going on. The Make America Straight Again conference is this weekend, and there are already people there protesting. So this video is more for those who are, planning to protest. And if you know anyone, please spread the word, because I basically give examples of exactly what not to do, right? So, yeah. Please, but if you do, stay safe. Do not send any hate or threats to the NIFB. Just don't. Yeah, I will update you if anything happens. And take care. Bye.